All right, what is going on, guys? Happy Sunday. Welcome back to the channel. We've got a full 15 game slate. We're going to cover each game as always and talk about the recap from yesterday. So let's go ahead and do that. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Helps with the growth. If you can just comment anything down below, there's no wrong answers. Well, probably some, but keep it clean. All right, so recap from yesterday, we had Andrew Abbott over 1.5 walks. Check. Got that done. I was at that game. That was a beautiful grand slam by Ellie De La Cruz on his bobblehead night. Pretty interesting. All right, Blue Jays first 5. We got that done. Didn't go well after the first 5, but who cares? Teoscar Hernandez, 1 RBI. He had 2 hits. Great night. I feel like we read that well. Had a good matchup. Just could not get somebody on base. Dodgers got blanked by Ben Brown. Lost 16-0. Crazy. So that also leads us to our next loss. Dodgers race to 4. They wouldn't have won a race to 1. So there's that. We had Phillies first 5 -0.5. That was pretty sweat-free cash there. So we ended up hitting the first 3 plays on the day. We just needed the Dodgers to take us home, and they floundered. They floundered big time. So 3-2, still finished up about 0.55 units. So we're still good, man. If we look at April, we are up 10.5 units in the MLB. So that is absolutely solid. For the first month of the season, we're still kind of feeling things out. To be up 10.5 units is outstanding. All right, so let's get into today's slate. It's a Sunday, not the greatest day for betting on baseball, but we're going to go some different angles here. I've still got 7 plays that I really like, man. I tried to narrow this list down and talk myself out of a few. And I had a list of 13 plays, so we narrowed it down to 7 here. So we're going to talk about each game, get into this. First game on the card, Giants and the Yankees. Saw the Yankees finally offensively start to turn it around a little bit yesterday. Ended up winning 8-4. Today we got a 10-mile-an-hour wind. It's basically going to be a side wind, kind of from third base to first base side. It's going to be 52 degrees, pretty mid in terms of pressure and humidity, so not bad for carry, for runs. This is where the Yankees we should see them. My only concern here, it's Logan Webb and Carlos Rodon. Rodon at home has been pretty good. Still not someone I want to get behind, but if we look at Logan Webb, he's had 2 starts versus the Yankees. He's given up 4 earned runs in each of those starts. One in 2023 and 1 last year. So I do like this. The only thing that concerns me is he's a ground ball pitcher. He does do a very good job of keeping that ball low in the zone. I've watched 2 of his starts this year, and he has just worked the hell out of the bottom part of the zone. So it does give me a little bit of concern in this game. But I think the Yankees get it done. So give me the Yankees at -125. One that we're playing it, but we're taking a little bit of juice. Just Rodon still makes me a little nervous, man. I do like him on our money line parlay today that I'm going to put out. But what I like the most is Yankees team total over 3.5 at -130, right? We know Webb's already given up 4 earned runs in each start. Let's just take the over 3.5. We're going to take a little bit of juice, right? Instead of -125, we'll take -130, but it removes Rodon from the picture. So that's the angle I'm taking. But like I said, the money line parlay will have the Yankees included. Pitch mix just isn't great for Webb. If we look at the Yankees, they're 5th hitting the fastball, 1st hitting the cutter. Those are his 2 primary pitches. Slider and a changeup are the next 2. Yankees are 12th in both of those. Splits for Rodon look good. We've seen the Giants struggle against lefties, hitting .210 with a WRC plus of 83. Strikeout percentage pretty high, about 23.5. So Rodon Ks, another one I looked at today. I think he should be able to rack up some Ks this year. His splits look good. If we look at the hitting splits, lefties are hitting 182 off of him. Righties are hitting 189. My concerns with his walks. He's got a 13% walk rate. We saw it in his last start. He was absolutely dealing against the Tigers. I know because I gave out his K prop in the Discord and he hit that for us, but he kept walking people. Tigers had 2 hits off of him, I believe. And it was after he had walked 1 or 2 people each time. And one was a home run, one was a double in the gap, I think, that scored 2. So he ended up giving like 4 or 5 earned runs on 2 hits because he couldn't control the ball. So it's the only thing that scares me with him. But I do like the Yankees get it done here. All right, next game on the card, Blue Jays and the O's. Like I said, we were on Blue Jays first 5 yesterday. Jose Barrios going up against Cade Povich. We're going to have a 11-mile-an-hour wind from left field, basically between, I'm trying to describe it, between third base and left field. So it's kind of an angled wind. It's going to be 58 degrees, pretty mid humidity and pressure. So should see okay carry. Barrios has a great track record versus Baltimore. He's 10-2 in his career. That said, if we look at his last game, which was this season on March 27th, he got rocked. 5 innings, 9 hits, 6 earned runs, 5 Ks. Now that was in Toronto, a little bit different. But if we just go back over his last 4 starts versus Baltimore, it's not good. He's given up 15 earned runs in those last 4 starts versus Baltimore. So thought we had an angle to get to the Blue Jays. Not so much anymore. Both bullpens are extremely healthy. Now, Cade Povich, not great. 2 games versus Baltimore, both were versus Toronto, and both were last year. He went 9 innings, 12 hits, 9 earned runs. This screams take the over 8.5. I'm just a little bit concerned here because I think Barrios on the road is just a better pitcher. So I really I don't know. It's like it makes me want to go Blue Jays. But then I think with the wind direction kind of blowing in a little bit, Toronto's only got 1 left-handed hitter today. Baltimore's got 6. It's just a huge advantage. That said, Toronto's been hitting lefties really well. This is a top 10 team in pretty much every statistical category versus lefties. So this is one like I'm going back and forth on this. Ultimately, 8.5 is just too many runs. So 7.5, I can get behind that all day. But 8.5 is too tight. Lean Baltimore in this one, but I don't trust Cade Povich whatsoever. I think maybe an angle I looked at in this game was both teams to score 3 runs. You can get some pretty good value there on DK taking that prop. So I do think the Blue Jays are able to get to Cade Povich because pretty much every team is. So he's got a 6.10 ERA. He's K'ing a lot more than he has in the past. So 25% K percentage, but just not a guy I can get behind. Both of them are fly ball pitchers, about 62% each of them in terms of their fly ball outs. Povich is doing really well against lefties, but we already said there's only 1 lefty today in this Toronto lineup. And righties, he's struggling. He's given up a 457 average. Barrios is about 263 to lefties, 280 to righties. Povich hard contact percentage is through the roof, 53%, average exit below of 94. So everything screams Toronto. If they had more left-handed bats here, I would be all in on Toronto, but lack of left-handed bats makes me a little nervous today. So kind of a toss-up here, man. But like I said, both teams have scored 3+ runs. You can get some good value on that prop. All right, next game is going to be the Braves and the Rays. Chris Sale. I got to find the game, but it's Chris Sale going up against Shane Baz. And where did you go? Okay, there we go. Chris Sale, Shane Baz. Chris Sale, not exactly a Cy Young start to the year. He's got a 6.75 ERA. We saw the Phillies were able to rake off of him in his last start, but big difference between the Phillies and the Rays. That said, his pitch mix does not look good. Rays are hitting the fastball from lefties very well. They're 6th in baseball. They're hitting the slider very well. They're 8th. So all the pitch splits kind of work in their favor. This Braves offense, sporadic at best. But if we look at the Blue Jays or the Rays versus lefties, average not so great. 192, 25% K rate. Braves aren't a ton better, 249 with a 25% K rate. So this is a brave spot for me. I think Chris Sale bounces back. Their inability to hit with runners in scoring position does make me a little nervous. Braves are hitting 172 with runners in scoring position. That is 28th in the MLB. Rays have done a much better job hitting with runners in scoring position, hitting 245. But that said, it's a Chris Sale game for me. Give me the Braves on the money line. I'll take this. I like Braves first 5 as my official play. You can get that at -125. Just give me Sale against Baz. I think Sale has a bounce back start, so like this spot for him. Next game is going to be the Nats and the Marlins. We were on, what did I give out in the Discord? I gave out Trevor Williams under his Ks and Marlins first 5. So that was a good cash for us yesterday. That was pretty That got sweaty. I was going to say sweat free, but it was real sweat free until the fourth inning when they got bases loaded and ended up tying it up at 3. And then the Marlins came through for us and got a run. So today's game is going to be Mackenzie Gore versus Cal Quantrill. We got about a 10-mile-an-hour wind from right center. It's going to be 75 degrees, mid-humidity, and high pressure. One of the things I didn't talk about was the weather in the last game. It's going to be really good. 6-mile-an-hour wind blowing out, 82 degrees, low humidity, but we do have high pressure, so that will impact ball carry a little bit. All right, back to the Nats game. Like I said, 10-mile-an-hour wind from right center, 75 degrees, pretty mid in terms of pressure and humidity. If we look at Mackenzie Gore, he's got a really good track record against this team. He's 2-1 with a 2.22 ERA in 4 games versus this team. Now he's given up 1 earned run or less in 3 of his 4 starts versus Miami. His first start ever against a team he gave up 4, but since then he's just been absolutely nails. If we look at Cal Quantrill versus the Nats, he's got a 4.24 ERA. Pitched against them 3 times last year, so a lot of familiarity. Cal Quantrill is just not a guy I can get behind. That said, his last start was decent for Cal Quantrill, but I think Gore is able to have an absolute day today. So I do love the Nats. Do I want to pay minus 142? No. I'll put him on the money line parlay. But play I do like in this game is Mackenzie Gore to go over 5.5 strikeouts. He has been an absolute strikeout machine. His K percentage right now is 37.3%. There are 4 guys on this lineup for the Marlins that have an extremely high K percentage versus him. So we've got the historical data. He's been absolutely dealing. So give me his over 5.5 Ks on FanDuel for a nice value. All right, next game is going to be the Pirates and the Reds. Oh, yeah. I feel like we skipped the game. No? Okay. All right, Pirates and the Reds. This game's going to be Hunter Green going up against Carmen Modazemski. I don't really know how you say this dude's name, but Modazemski. I don't know. Anyway, Hunter Green. You would think this is an insta just bang the Reds at home with Hunter Green, but at minus 198. I'd say hold on a little bit. It's going to be 53 degrees. Wind's going to be blowing in about 8 miles an hour from right field. Pretty mid humidity, but we do have high pressure. So carry is going to be down. Wind's going to be blowing in. Hunter Green has never gotten a win versus the Pirates. Believe it or not, he is 0-4 with a 3.0 ERA versus Pittsburgh. Last year, he went 0-2 with a 4.73 ERA. So this is a team that has been able to get to him. Last year, 13.1 innings pitched, 11 hits, 7 earned runs, but he did have 18 Ks. So he's been able to mow him down K-wise. I don't mind him to get 8 Ks today. I think that is a decent prop. Just a little too high. Don't necessarily want to count on it. 2 teams that just aren't exactly tearing the cover off the ball. Pittsburgh versus righties. Dead last in baseball, hitting 192 with a WRC plus of 69. Just really haven't been able to get it done all around. Now, the one thing they have been able to do is hit runners in scoring position. They are 8th with runners in scoring position. Pitch mix today looks really good for Hunter Green. Pirates are dead last hitting the slider. They are 29th against the splitter or a sinker, 30th in the curveball, 14th in the fastball. So everything screams Reds here. Last night, had it not been for an LA De La Cruz grand slam, Reds probably lose this game. So paying $1.98 for the Reds, that 2 teams that are kind of struggling offensively. Yeah, I can get behind Hunter Green, but I just don't see an angle I want to take in this game, to be honest with you. I don't love it with the wind blowing in from right. Yeah, you could take a Nerfy. That's about all I really looked at. Reds bullpen's been absolute nails. 3rd best in terms of ERA in baseball, 3.06. FIP's pretty good, top 7. Everything's been really good in this bullpen. Bullpen's not necessarily taxed, but you've had Pagan go 2 nights in a row. Although yesterday was very sweat-free. I think he only faced 3 hitters, so that was pretty sweat-free. So yeah, it's probably a Reds game here. But given Green's track record against Pittsburgh, And I don't necessarily trust the Reds offense. I just can't get behind paying minus 198 here. So this is almost one where you take like Pirates run line, because I do think it'll be a fairly low scoring game. 7.5 at GABP is a little crazy. Can't get behind that, but that's where I'm at with that game. All right, next game, Royals and the Guardians. Cole Reagan's going up against Ben Lively. So this one should be a pretty good game. We got very, very slight breeze blowing out. It's like 2 miles an hour. It's going to be 53 degrees, so fairly warm up in Cleveland for this time. Mid humidity, but we do have high pressure. So high pressure will impact carry. If we look at Reagan's versus Cleveland, not great. 0-1 with a 5.93 ERA, 13.2 innings pitched, 14 hits, 9 earned runs, but he does have 13 Ks. If we look at Ben Lively versus KC, not good. 1-2 with about a 5 ERA. He's given up at least 2 earned runs in every start against Kansas City. So ultimately, I kind of want to take the over 7.5 in this one. We got decent weather finally. Guards have been hitting lefties pretty well, hitting 239, WRC plus a 115. But Royals against righties have not been great. They're hitting 205, WRC plus of 61. You know, the wrong team might be favored here. I am concerned about Lively. Lively's getting crushed by lefties. He's given up a 304 average, 207 to righties. Righties have been the issue for Cole Reagans. He's been pitching very well against lefties, giving up a 133 average. We know Cleveland predominantly is left-handed sticks, but I think the value here is actually on taking Cleveland at plus 110. I don't know if I'll pull the trigger on it, but I think that's where the value's at. So it's either Cleveland or the over for me in this game, but probably a game I'm just going to pass, to be honest. All right, Angels and the Astros. This one should be an interesting game, I guess. Kyle Hendricks versus Hayden Wesneski. We do have the roof closed, so we don't have to worry about weather. Astros not winning yesterday was very shocking. But Kyle Hendricks, he's having a hell of a season. He's got a 1.64 ERA. Expected ERA of 3.61. Wesneski 3.75. Maybe the under. I hate this game. I don't like this game whatsoever. I want to fade Hendricks, but this Angels offense has been pretty good, and the Astros offense has been sporadic. Astros only hitting 227 versus righties. WRC plus of 88. They're walking at a decent clip, but they're also K'ing at a pretty decent clip. So I don't really see a great angle here that just gets me excited to take the Astros at minus 162, just other than the fact of fading Hendricks. That's the only angle I see here. But these Angel sticks are kind of heating up a little bit. So yeah, I can't find anything to make me want to take the Astros. So this is Angels or pass to me on a Sunday. All right, next game is going to be Detroit Tigers and the Minnesota Twins. We've got Casey Mize going up against SWR, Simeon Woods Richardson. I took Tigers yesterday. I took Tigers, live bet them during the game. Got them at pretty good value when they had runners on first and second, no outs. I got this for 1 plus 160, 170. That was pretty sweat free. Also had Tigers team total over 3.5. Nailed that one. So this one, Casey Mize and SWR. So Mize, hell of a start to his season. 11.2 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned run, 12 Ks. Only concern is he's had 3 walks in each start. So you can get his over 1.5 walks today at minus 130. Twins aren't the most patient team when it comes to walking, so I'm probably going to stay away from that, but there is value there. If we look at SWR, not a great start to his season, which I fully expect. I won't say Chicago White Sox, he pitched okay. 4 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs. Could have been way worse. Against Kansas City, he went into the 6th inning, gave up 4 earned runs, had 6 Ks. He's just not a guy I can trust. Mize is throwing really well. Wrong team's favorite here. Give me the Tigers to sweep this series. So Tigers at minus 102. Lock it in. No real concerns here. They have the better bullpen. They have the better starting pitcher. Their offense is hot. They're hitting 275 versus righties with a WRC plus of 138. Twins are hitting 231. They're just offensively struggling a little bit. They're not getting it done with runners in scoring position. I mean, I don't see an angle here. Better starting pitcher, better lineup, better bullpen. I don't see any bullpen issues that make me leery. They still have all their guys. So they still have Vest. They still have Briss. They still have Holton. Yeah, there's just nothing about this Twins team that's really scary right now. That said, their offense is streaky. They could come out and just throw up 15 runs today. I don't know, but Tigers up for me in this one. All right, Boston and the White Sox. This series has just been ugly. Garrett Crochet going up against Shane Smith. There's going to be a massive wind blowing in from right field. It's going to be between like 15 and 17 miles an hour. It's going to be 53 degrees. We are going to have mid-humidity and low pressure. Low pressure is good for ball carry, but 15, 16 mile an hour wind in Chicago, not good. So in this one, there's just no value whatsoever to take the Red Sox. All their good bats are lefties. They're going to be hitting into a stout wind. The play I like in this one is Shane Smith over 15.5 outs at plus money. I think he's not the greatest pitcher ever, but he's a good start to the season. 1.54 ERA. He's been averaging 16.8 outs on the season. So I think he goes somewhat deep in this game. I think runs will be at a minimum. That's why we see an over-under of 7. I do lean towards the under, but I don't know if I'll necessarily play it today. But that's where I'm at, under 7 with Crochet. I just don't know if I trust Crochet. He had a good bounce back start last time, but nothing that's blowing me away. Shane Smith giving up a 125 average to lefties, 0.071 to righties. He is getting hit kind of hard, but I think the big wind in the face is going to negate that. He is a ground ball pitcher, though. So, yeah, there's just no value taking the Red Sox at minus 245. All the values on taking the White Sox at plus 200. But I don't trust him enough to pull the trigger on that. So we're just going with the Shane Smith angle in this game. All right, next game is going to be the Phillies and the Cardinals. We had Phillies first 5 minus a half. That was great. Also had them run line. And I had that paired up with the Detroit Tigers team total over 3.5. So that was a nice win yesterday. Let's see. Zach Wheeler going up against Matthew Liberatore. I can't really get behind Liberatore. Not a guy I can get behind. That said, we've got like a 20 mile an hour wind blowing out the left field. It's going to be 73 degrees, mid humidity, low pressure. Carry is going to be good. So I like runs in this one. Wheeler is very sporadic at Busch Stadium. He's 4-3 with a 2.63 ERA versus St. Louis. But if you look at his starts in Busch Stadium, there are starts where he gives up 4 earned runs, 3 earned runs, 1 earned run. He is super sporadic. And I like the way this Cardinals team's hitting against righties. They're hitting 282 against righties with a WRC plus of 118, low K rate, high walk rate. I think they're actually going to be able to do okay today. Runners in scoring position, they're actually 4th in baseball right now, hitting 280. Phillies are 215 average. I feel like every time it's a key situation, there's one guy up for the Phillies, and it's fucking Nick Castellanos, and he strikes out, and it's driving me crazy. Not loving him this year. He's a K machine, but give me runs in this one. So I will take over 7.5. So that's a bit of an alt line. You can get it minus 127. I believe it's 127. So that's what I took today in this game. Just like some runs to be scored with this massive wind blowing out, and we should see good ball carry with the pressure being low. All right, next game is going to be the Mets and the A's. Oh, the Mets. Man, David Peterson had a really good start, and it just got absolutely pissed away by a impotent offense with the Mets. So, GG, he pitched a great game. Kota Senga going up against Luis Severino today. Severino just doesn't have a great track record versus the Mets. 5 earned runs in each of his last 2 starts against them. Obviously, it's been a while since he's pitched against them, but that you got to go back to 22, 23, I believe. But if we look at him in his first 2 starts, haven't been good. He's given up 5 earned runs in each of his first 2 starts against the Padres and the Cubs. So I don't have a lot of faith in him today. Kodai Senga, been a pretty good start to the year. His issue's just been early. Teams have been able to get to him kind of early, and then he settles in, and he's pretty good from there. Lefties have been getting to him. He's given up a 381 average to lefties. There are some potent lefties in this Oakland offense. So it does give me a little bit of pause for concern. If we look at batting splits, Mets just not hitting righties well. They're only hitting 199. WRC plus of 82, not K'ing at a super high rate, and they are walking a decent amount, so that's kind of helping them. Haven't been able to really get it done with runners in scoring position, hitting 154. We look at the A's hitting 296 with runners in scoring position, second in baseball right now. So this screams runs to me. My only issue is there's going to be a 14-mile-an-hour wind blowing in from left field. It's going to be 77 degrees, pretty mid humidity and pressure. It just feels like I can't trust the Mets in this spot. I kind of wanted to just take the over 9 and call it a day, but with the wind blowing in, I don't trust that either. So I would actually lean towards the under 9 as my best bet, which is scary. But under 9 in this park, probably not great. But that's really the only angle I could come to. Just don't trust the Mets offense here, but we'll see. All right, next game on the card is going to be the Brewers and the D-backs. We've got Freddie Peralta going up against Zach Gallen. Wow, what a comeback by the D-backs yesterday. Down 4, bottom of the ninth, 4-0. End up winning 5-4. That was pretty crazy. We'll have the roof closed today, so we don't have to worry about the weather and all that good stuff. Freddie Peralta versus the Diamondbacks has been absolute nails. 4-0, 0.84 ERA in 5 games against them. He has absolutely dominated them. Home or away, it hasn't really mattered. We look at Zach Gallen. He's pitched pretty well against the Brewers. 4-3 with a 2.74 ERA. Pitched against them twice last year. 10 innings, 13 hits, 7 earned runs, 12 Ks. So last year was an off year for him against this team. Just don't know if I can trust Gallen. He's got a 5.28 ERA. Freddie Peralta, if you guys have watched this channel, last year's a guy I faded a ton. That said, I don't know if I can fade him. Given the metrics against this team, I would lean Brewers plus 102. I think the wrong team's favored in this one. So I think it should be a pretty good game. We've got an over-under of 8. I would lean towards the over in this contest. But, yeah, I'd go Brewers. All right, next game is going to be the Rangers and the Mariners. Logan Gilbert going up against Nathan Eovaldi. Eovaldi on the road, just typically a guy you fade. Gilbert at home has been pretty stellar. So this has been an interesting series. Mariners have kind of opened up the offense a little bit here. So I don't really see a reason not to take the Mariners. We're getting a nice line of minus 135 with Gilbert at home. It's very rare you get a line like this with Gilbert at home. So if you're one of those guys that likes to avoid the series sweeps, then take the Rangers at plus 114. Eovaldi just doesn't really scare me. I mean, his pitch mix, he throws a lot of good pitches, and he's got an okay mix today. But yeah, this is a Mariners game, in my opinion. Over under of 6.5. I mean, that's crazy. So that's the only thing that scares me. Low scoring games like that, I don't really want to touch it. So Mariners in this spot. Not going to touch a 6.5 over under. All right, last game on the card. Actually, we got 2 more games, sorry. We got Rockies and the Padres. So in this game, we've got Michael King going up against Kyle Freeland. We got about an 8-mile-an-hour wind blowing out to right field today. It's going to be 66 degrees, mid-humidity and pressure, so it's kind of a normal day. A little on the cooler side there. If we look at Freeland, pitched really well at Petco Park since 2021. He's 3-2 with a 2.51 ERA. He's given up 2 or less earned runs in 4 of his last 5 games there. So he's got a really good track record there. And if we look at Michael King pitching at home versus the Rockies, 1 game last season, he got rocked. 5.1 innings, 8 hits, 6 earned runs, 7 Ks. So that's one he didn't get rocked into the latter stages of the game, but he did take the L there. So minus 238 with Freeland on the mound. Yeah, I can't really get behind this. I mean, this is kind of like Rocky spot or nothing, or take an over-under here. We got an over-under of 7. Yeah, I can't really get behind that. So to me, it's you take the over or you take the Rockies, but there's just no value taking the Padres at minus 238 in this spot. Rockies haven't been exactly hitting righties well, and the Padres are hitting lefties okay. They're kind of top 15 offensively against lefties, but that doesn't scream minus 238. Now, the angle here is the Rockies bullpen's god-awful. This is the worst bullpen in baseball. 29th in ERA, 28th in FIP, Ks per 9, 29th, so they're not striking people out. They've absorbed a decent amount of innings so far, so there's just really there's no angle to take this team when it comes to the back half of the game. So from that angle, like first five, Rockies first five, just isolate Freeland and King. Hope that the Rockies can get to King. So I guess that would be where your value is. This is just a fade game for me. I don't love it whatsoever. All right, last game on the card today is going to be the Cubs and the Dodgers. After the good old Dodgers got blanked 16-0 yesterday. Jesus. Yeah, Colin Rea on the mound. He's had a really good start to the season, but he's kind of been in a relief role. He's got a 0 ERA. He's thrown 5 innings across, I want to say, 4 or 5 games so far. So it's been kind of spot stuff. Dodgers here. You got to go Dodgers. But again, minus 265 or 255 or whatever you're getting at. It's just ridiculous. So it's Dodgers run line. I still think there's value there. Minus 120. I can get behind that with Glasnow, but Glasnow has got to show me something. 6.43 ERA. Not a great start to his season. So I'm fading this game, but it's run line, Dodgers team total. It's the only real angles you have to take in this game. All right, let's get to our best bets, and then I'll give you guys a couple of leans I was looking at as well. First play on the card today is going to be Shane Smith for the White Sox over 15.5 outs. Just talked about it. He's got a good mix against lefties and righties, really keeping both at bay in terms of under 100 averages. And we've got this big wind blowing in. So I like that spot here. Yankees team total over 3.5. Like I said, Logan Webb's given up 4 earned runs in both of his start versus the Yankees. Plus we get to the back half of that bullpen. It's a decent day for the home runs. And Yankees score most on home runs. Blue Jays team total over 3.5. This is just a fade of Cade Povich. He's pretty bad. Blue Jays are hitting lefties well, but I don't want to fully commit to the Blue Jays winning because Berrios has a pretty bad track record last 4 games versus Baltimore. Braves first 5, we're just backing Chris Sale here. We're fading Shane Baz a little bit, I guess, but I don't think there's going to be a ton of runs, but I think Sale's going to have a good day today. And then we're going to go Mackenzie Gore over 5.5 Ks. He's just been absolutely dominating. Had 12 Ks in his first start versus Philly. I think he had 5 Ks and then 7, if I remember right. So this is a good spot for him. Got a historical track record with 4 or 5 of these guys where he's got a high K rate. Phillies and Cards over 7.5. Kind of scary taking it over with Zach Wheeler, but 20-some-mile-an-hour wind blowing out the left. We should see runs. And then Tigers money line. This is just fading SWR, fading that Twins offense. It's been sporadic, and the Tigers offense has been hot. So look for them to sweep. Our parlay today is going to be the Nats, the Mariners, and the Yankees. So we are going to trust Gilbert and that team to go ahead and take care of Eovaldi and the Rangers, and then Nats to bounce back. And, well, they almost won yesterday, but, this Marlins bullpen is just trash. And Cal Quantrill's not a guy I can get behind. So those are the plays in terms of leans that almost made the card or things I was looking at. Ben Lively under 3.5 Ks. I do like that play at minus 125. Cole Reagan over his Ks. I think there's good value there. Should be able to get some Ks today. Orioles team total over and the game total over. We already took the Blue Jays, but maybe game total over as well. And then Casey Mize over 1.5 walks, which we already talked about. So those are some of the plays I was looking at. But have a good Sunday, guys. Make sure you guys are responsible. Don't do crazy parlays on a Sunday. Most of these should be straight betting, unless you want to walk out with some big L's. Keep it simple. And make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. Join the Discord. Absolutely free. Link is in the description. And I'll catch you guys in the next video.